Wakey bakey, BitMonger family. Monger with you here today. Hope you guys are all doing fantastic. And in today's video, I'm going to go off and talk a little bit about Thailand, Southeast Asia in general, but in specific Thailand. And I would say this is the #1 rookie mistake. And I have seen hundreds, probably thousands actually, of guys make this mistake. And that is, guys, when you come to Thailand, everything, if you've never been here before, this part of the world, you are going to come here and you are going to experience massive culture shock. You are going to most likely go to a tourist area and you are going to go out at night. You're going to, go look around. You're going to go have beers. You're going to hit the nightlife scene and you are going to get inundated. I am just talking like slammed by ladies saying, "Hey, sexy man, come here," smiling at you. Maybe they come out and they grab your arm and try to pull you into the bar. This is their common tactic, and it can be misinterpreted. You think that, you would know that these are working girls, right? And this is their job. But it's just amazing how many men leave their common sense back at home and fall for these ladies. And it's easy to do. I'll admit it. I've been a victim as well. When I first came here. Well, not when I first came here. It happened, strangely enough, when I came here later, when I was a bit older. Because when I first came here, I was too busy working and, I had a ton of other options at my disposal when it came to women that were attractive that I could hook up with. So it wasn't as tempting to me. But my situation was very different from the average guy. So the average guy coming here on holiday or whatever, or just they're going to probably have never experienced this kind of attention, especially from beautiful women. And I'm talking about Thai women are absolutely fucking stunning, guys. I mean, they are so beautiful, so sexy, so feminine, that it will just make you, it will get you, man. I mean, if you are prone to, if you, I don't want to say you're a womanizer, but if you appreciate beautiful women and you like them, and all of a sudden you are, getting massive attention from beautiful women, and they're wanting to hang out with you, they're wanting to be with you, and in most cases, of course, you're going to be paying. But for the average guy, the value, clearly, of having a beautiful chaperone, a rent-a-girlfriend, whatever you want to call it, around you, is, affordable, and you can, and they're really very good. These women are really very good at playing the girlfriend type of role. I mean, they'll do things that we interpret as being sincere and caring, and it is just part of their job, and they're very, very good at it, guys. The mistake I see foreign men making when they come to Thailand is falling for these women and somehow misinterpreting it and confusing it as being a real relationship. A genuine type of relationship, rather than looking at it as, because let's face it, it's not nice to analyze it and look at it for what it is. And what it is you're paying for their company. You are, and some guys will argue, well, you always pay. Well, yeah, okay, I get that argument, but this is still very different. I mean, you are a customer. Most guys, when they meet their girlfriends, they're not customers. They're not paying for services. Sure, you pay for meals, you pay for, other things. Maybe in that relationship as a man, you often, pay. And I get that. Trust me. But the dynamic is very different when you approach it as you are a customer first and foremost going into this relationship. And that is not the right way to start. And even if you don't pay, but if she is working in a bar and you met her in a bar or some sort of establishment that's catering to tourists, where she's going out with them, and maybe you didn't pay for her services at first, but you see her there and you see that she's doing this, well, then you know where she's coming from, and you should see it for what it is and say, hey, listen, if she's interested in me, why is she interested in me? And what's her motives? And someone would say I'm jaded, but I always look at, what's the relationships are give and take. So what is she wanting to take, right? And oftentimes it's going to be your money, guys, and it's going to be revolved around your money. And that can be, if the main thing is revolving around, your money, then that is not a good. That's just not a good start. That's not a good relationship. That's not one that you want to be in. And I understand money is very important to all kind of relationships. You need everybody has certain expectations, certain standards that they want to live up to and live by. And if those aren't met, well then, especially females, they'll look for someone who can provide those things. So that's kind of normal. I would say this though, guys. As a guy who's lived here, off and on for over 30 years and has been with a ton of these women, I would tell you this. If you're going to look for a girlfriend, do not look for a girlfriend in any nightlife area. Just forget it. Use those services for what they are. Enjoy it and, have a great time. But don't cross that line and start suddenly thinking that this girl is serious about you. Big mistake. Also, I would say, places like Pattaya, Phuket, Koh Samui, Koh Phangan, nightlife district of Chiang Mai, any place where there is that nightlife zone, do not be looking for your girlfriends in this area. This is a recipe for most likely big-time failure. Now, there's some very few exceptions to the rule to where guys hook up with these fast women, working girls, where it turns out to be a loving, long-time relationship and something that's meaningful. Most of them crash and burn really, really hard, which is to be expected. So, this is the best advice I can give to you guys. Looking for a serious Thai girlfriend or a future wife. And that is, look for women that are daytime workers with normal jobs and that speak very, very little English. So you're going to need to learn how to speak some basic Thai. And that's fine. Just work on it. Make the effort, and it will pay off in spades. Trust me, guys. And by doing this, you'll meet women that are most likely they've never had a foreign boyfriend. And that is something that you want to consider, because these women will naturally, it's normal for them to compare experiences. That's what humans do. We compare things. I compared Filipino women to Thai women to Japanese women to American. It's normal to compare. So if the woman has a history of dating foreigners, I personally don't like it. Some would say, hey, you're being insecure or whatever. But I find that if you find one that's, call it a blank slate, she doesn't have that history, so she's not going to be comparing you to her ex, British boyfriend or her ex-Aussie boyfriend or German or Japanese, this type, then that can be a good thing for you. Now, and sometimes it's okay because maybe they don't have a long history and their previous boyfriend was a complete prick, so you look like a superstar. That can happen too. That's not too difficult because a lot of these guys that come over here, honestly, are, drunkards, they're not looking to settle down. They've just tasted it and now they're just, they're seeing that, oh, I got a lot of opportunities, so they cheat and lie and they're not necessarily good. So that, in some cases that can be good. But again, that's going to mean she's got baggage. Maybe that makes her insecure. Maybe she's going to be concerned about you going out. So I would say this, look for ones that are completely off the scene from the common foreigner. Take the time to get to know them. Learn how to speak a little Thai. Use the translator. The translators are quite good now. Just try to keep your thoughts simple. And get to know them, find out her expectations, see if you guys have common interests and whether or not you can, take care of her, because this is Thailand and generally speaking, the man does play the traditional role of being the breadwinner. So if you're going to get a Thai girlfriend or a Thai wife and you're going to move someplace, then you're likely, going to be expected to play the role of being the breadwinner. And that should be expected, guys. Don't make this rookie mistake. You can find beautiful Thai women, some of the ones in this photo that are absolute normal girls with no, storied background of, sleeping with white men or Westerners or whatever. And you can make a really nice relationship with them. You just need to build it. And, because let's face it, most of what you hear on the internet are all, crash and burn fucking horror stories of guys getting robbed, being deceived, It's just a never-ending line of that stuff. So, I'm trying to give you the alpha so you can make that happen. Also, guys, if you looked at my, one last thing on my trading, if you guys looked at the chart yesterday, I was talking about how you might want to take a long here on Bitcoin because it was bouncing right off this support line here, and sure enough, it ran up. So if you took that long and made some money, good on you. It looks like it might come back down here and test it again. We did make a lower high here, so that's not looking good compared to here. So this could potentially drop out, and this would be the next line in the sand down here around 85 if it gets down there, but 85.1. But we'll see, guys. Anyways, if you're having money problems, I suggest you watch my other videos about how I invest in crypto and disruptive stocks and how you can make money there. Anyways, I'm going to leave it there, guys. Good luck finding a beautiful Thai girlfriend and monger on.